Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando, that's Corey, and today's special guest, Michael Bolton. Hello. Oh, how's everybody doing out there? Today, we are doing 1984's The Terminator. And before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that happy stuff, and share the show with your friends.
Yeah, sharing's caring.
Sharing is caring, and you need to share the show with the friends. Let's start with The Terminator. This is a James Cameron joint starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think we've done enough Arnold Schwarzenegger movies at this point to necessitate a whole playlist.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you're an Arnie fan, this show is for you. Or maybe not, depending on what we say.
Exactly. So you got Arnie, you got Linda Hamilton. Is it Michael Biehn?
I thought it was like Biehn.
Biehn?
Either way, he's fucking awesome.
Yes, absolutely. So this movie is, according to IMDb, it's in 1984, so present day. A human soldier is tasked to stop an indestructible cyborg killing machine, both sent from 2029 from executing a young woman, Sarah Connor, whose unborn son is the key to humanity's future salvation.
Sounds a little far-fetched to me.
So this movie actually opens up in Los Angeles 2029. Looks like fucking Thunderdome, and there's machines shooting people, and machines have taken over. Another movie that we've done that has the title cards that go through the exposition of exactly what you're watching, and sets up the movie nicely. Cuts to present day 1984 LA, and Naked Arnold shows up. The lightning.
Tight ass.
Great ass!
Dude, let me tell you something. If I look like Arnie in 1984, I am literally walking everywhere naked.
Naked Arnie has to find clothes, because apparently traveling back in time, you can't have any clothes. And Bill Paxton shows up in this as the punk gang leader. This was obviously before he went to school. Cleaned up his act before he went to go chase tornadoes and shit.
That's right. Quite a trajectory for that character.
I know, right? Arnie beats them up, rips out their insides.
Kills them.
Rips out the one dude's insides.
Punches a hole straight clean through homeboy.
And takes their clothes. So far, so good.
Yep, right on track.
Yes. Enter Reese, who...
He does not take time traveling as well as Arnie did. He looks like hammered shit going through that portal. If that's what time travel entails for human beings, I'm out.
Yeah.
Unless I get a TARDIS or a DeLorean, I ain't traveling anywhere. Period.
He basically bum rushes a bum, takes his pants, gets chased by the cops, into a department store, takes some more clothes, and he's ready to go. I want to know how much Nike paid for the product placement when he puts the sneakers on.
They funded a lot of the CGI in this movie. A lot of it.
So they both... What I found funny, so they're both there, and they're both there to find Sarah Connor. Arnie's there to kill her. Reese is there to save her.
Correct.
So that, her son can save the world. They both immediately know. They're from 2029, okay? Mm-hmm. We're in 2020. My son barely knows what a phone book is, okay? Yeah. They immediately know that they need to look Sarah Connor up in the phone book and basically rip out the pages so that they can find a list of Sarah Connors that they can go.
Yeah. By the way, PSA number 1 for today, kids. Hi, guys. Uncle Corey here. Just wanted to let you know that if you find yourself in 1984 and are desperately searching for somebody through the yellow pages, don't rip out the page. That's a dick move.
That is a dick move.
Remember the information. You're not 5. That's such an asshole thing to do. Ripping out I expect that behavior from the Terminator. I expect more out of you, Kyle Reese.
Exactly. You know, humanity has gone to shit in 2029. The least you basically started that whole butterfly effect in 1984 by ripping out that page. Okay?
That's right. That's right.
So cut to Sarah Connor. She's at work at a diner in probably the shittiest diner with the shittiest customers.
I think that's mine, but I didn't order
gets
fries.
the barbecue beef. Mine's the chili beef deluxe.
Okay, who gets the burly beef?
Miss, we're ready to order now.
Yes, ma'am.
With a kid that dumps like ice cream in her pocket or whatever, I would have beat the hell out of that kid. And she just kind of looks at him like, ba-ba-da.
Yeah. They're like, way to go, kid. Should have given you the tip.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
I did hear that.
Whoa.
Nice going, kid. How to give you the tip.
PSA number 2. Treat your waitstaff well. They handle your food.
Yeah.
Okay? If I was her, I would have gone in and wiped my no-no parts all over their food before I brought out the correct orders, because apparently she didn't.
That kid's getting a free scoop of ice cream a la pubes.
The next scene is Arnold going to the gun store, which is fantastic. He's getting all the guns that he needs or that he would need, blows away the clerk behind the counter and just takes all the shit.
And this brings up my question, kind of going back to what you were saying about the phone book earlier. You're in 1984. You know you're there. You've went in the phone book. You're buying guns. And you ask for the phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
You don't know that we don't have plasma rifles in 1984?
Hey, just what you see, pal.
But they're now in this mad dash to find Sarah Connor. Yep. Arnie just goes down the list to each address.
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
Linda Hamilton actually sees this while she's at work. Somebody calls her like, "Hey, you're dead." There's ha 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 ha.
This afternoon.
You're dead, honey.
Another late breaking news.
What is funny about that, Flo? Nothing.
So Reese has some dreams and flashbacks or flash forwards, I guess, as exposition, kind of setting up what the future's like and why he's there and yada yada. The cops figure out someone's hunting women by the name of Sarah Connor, and they try to call Linda Hamilton.
Did you reach the next girl yet?
No, I keep getting an answering machine.
Call her.
I just called her.
Call her again.
She's just not answering. I guess we did all we could do.
That general policing attitude would have really helped you guys in 1996 before the riots. All I'm saying.
Sarah goes out. She gets followed by Reese. She ducks into a bar.
Tech-Noir.
Tech-Noir. And Sarah's roommate is getting calls from the cops. But she doesn't hear it because this bitch has got headphones on the entire movie. Like, she's banging her boyfriend with headphones on.
Yeah, because she's thinking about whoever's singing in her headphones.
Like, that was the weirdest shit.
Her character should not exist because she's on the road being Penny Lane for whatever band is taking her at that point in time.
So, Linda Hamilton sees the report on the news that somebody's killing Sarah Connors in Los Angeles.
Is your name Sarah Connor? Have you been wrongfully killed? You deserve a settlement.
She realizes Reese is following her, ducks into that bar. Arnold shows up, fucks up Ginger's boyfriend. She doesn't know what's going on because she's got the headphones on and she's just bobbing and weaving through the kitchen like, "Hey, I'm making a sandwich because I just got laid."
And let's go back a little bit here. It's not Ginger's boyfriend. That man's name is Rick Rossovich, and he's an 80s god.
My bad.
Yeah, damn right it was.
That's Michael Bolton's bad too.
That's right, it was, Michael.
It's all his fault. So he gets fucked up. Ginger gets killed because she doesn't hear anything until it's way too late. Arnie realizes he killed the wrong person because answering machines. And
by the way, is Ginger wearing bows? Because they're having like a throwdown fight where people are getting put it through walls, lamps are crashing over people's head. Ginger is literally oblivious.
Here's another PSA for the people out there that are too young to remember before the time of like in-bud earphones and noise cancel. Yeah. Headphones in 1984 sucked ass. You had to put your music all the way up to 10 on your little dial if you wanted to hear any music, because they just went over the top of your ears. They weren't even the size of like cans.
Yep. And
you literally heard every outside noise. Like if you farted while you were listening to the music, you could hear the fart clearly.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know how she didn't hear what the hell was going on.
No.
But whatever. We'll suspend disbelief for that scene. So Arnold finds Sarah Connor at Tech-Noir. All hell breaks loose. He just starts shooting and enter the Uzi again. And if for as big as Arnold is, and he's a machine.
Yes.
Again, this shows you how shitty Uzis are.
Yes.
Because he has full control of this thing, but the minute he hits the trigger, his shit's all over the place.
Oh, all over the place.
So he's just hitting random people. He's killing all kinds of people. He gets blown through the front window by Reese, and we get the
"Come with me if you want to live."
This whole scene, I really, really like it. I like the way it was shot. And the whole, great. Like, Arnold walking through the club, Linda Hamilton knocks her water down and goes to pick it up. And, like, just everything and how that whole scene's set up is fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
But Reese takes Sarah, and they get away. In this car chase that happens next. Mm-hmm. But he explains to her that he's from the future and is here to protect her. He's not very convincing. Sarah's just trying to get away. Even though this dude just saved your life, I might listen to, like, I don't know, half of what he said.
Yeah, like, it's cool that you're walking around with the shotty and you bailed me out of a really bad situation.
Yeah.
I'll give you a handy, but I'm not entertaining time travel.
I'll give you a handy.
Yeah, I'm not entertaining your thoughts of time travel, so skip that bullshit right now. But she starts to go with it, slowly but surely.
No, she starts to go with it. Arnold steals the cop car and is chasing them. And I thought this was funny because after watching this movie, they couldn't have picked a better actor to play the role as Arnold Schwarzenegger did.
Oh, 100%.
Especially back then. At least now, and as his career progressed, he still couldn't speak the language very well. But he was at least a little bit more animated. Like,
exactly. I was going to say his nonverbal acting.
Yeah. Like,
in other movies got so much better. Yeah. This is just...
Well, it's like, you're a robot. He's like, okay, I'm a robot. Then just go... Like, every movement of his. And when they show him driving the cop car, he looks fake AF. And it's actually him.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Like, I've never seen a real person look so fake in my life.
That's what sweating through makeup looks like, I think.
But Arnold finds them hiding out in the parking garage. The chase begins. And the one thing I really didn't like about this movie is during these chase scenes and the big action scenes, I don't know what it is. We'll call it music for now. The score. The score. Is so bad. It's so rough. Bad.
Outside of the iconic dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that's great, and then everything else is trash.
100%.
They get caught by the cops. Reese is arrested. Sarah's taken to the police station for protection, and I'll use this in heavy air quotes. They They both get their balls busted by Dr. Peter Silberman,
Criminal psychologist.
who is one of the worst psychologists. And this is another trend that I'm seeing in the movies that we do. They allow Sarah to watch the interrogation of Reese, which no. And Dr. Silberman literally, because she was like, is he crazy? And he was like, oh yeah.
In technical terminology, he's a loon.
This guy is like prototypical burnt out tuna fish sandwich every night eating bastard. He has no desire to do anything.
No,
he doesn't want to be there. He's busy because his pager's constantly going off. Paul Warfield, as the main detective, I forget his name. He's the only guy actually trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yes.
And like Lance Henriksen is just cracking jokes the whole time and telling stories about like crackheads he took down. And
He was probably on PCP. Broke every bone in his hand. He wouldn't feel it for hours. There was this guy once. You see this scar?
Nobody's talking about the fact, though, that like, hey, I kind of saved this chick, and the giant dude who just disappeared after a collision is still wandering around.
Yes.
You didn't find a handgun on me. All the Sarah Connors have been killed with a handgun so far.
Yes.
Why the fuck am I here other than the obvious?
Here's the other thing. Like, if you're from the future, and you know, you've lived any of your life, and he seems to be in his 20s-ish, and you go back in time, I'm pretty sure that before you get sent back in time, Sarah Connor's son would tell you, like, hey, you probably shouldn't tell people that you're from the future. Here's a good cover story, like, hey, this big dude thinks he's a robot and thinks he's from the future, and I'm just trying to save her. Like, wouldn't you think of like a better story than
a computer defense system built for SAC-NORAD by Cyberdyne Systems?
He is honest and truthful to a fault.
Yeah, exactly. But Arnold hides out, fixes himself, which is a great scene. And even for 1984 standards.
Oh yeah,
fixing his eye, and
it's nasty. It looks good, even when he's fixing his hair in the mirror.
Yep. No.
To the iconic and classic.
Fuck you, asshole.
Fucking great.
Arnold then breaks into the police station. Mayhem ensues.
And again, you get the first time I think he ever said it.
I'll be back.
And I like the detail in that scene, too, because you see him pause, and he's looking at the structure of the whole front of the building. Like a computer would. Like he's analyzing the structure.
Yep.
Cool. I'm just going to run my car right through you, ass.
Well, and you could back then, because they didn't make Priuses. Everything was made out of steel. So
right.
You could actually run a car through the front of a police station back then.
The good old days.
This whole scene where he's just blowing everybody away. This is such a great scene.
You get to see really how vicious he is from start to finish.
Yeah.
It's not just like airing shots or like punching, some juvie punk through the stomach. Like, he is wiping out trained professionals.
Yes.
And I mean, without even a bead of sweat. He had more sweat driving in that fucking police car.
What I thought was funny in this whole scene, because Sarah Connor hides under the desk, and they show Reese, I'm going to use this in heavy air quotes, breaking out of his interrogation room. He knees a cop in the stomach and knocks him out cold. Like,
future knees. Let me tell you, they don't make these like they do in 2029, okay?
No, they don't. They definitely don't, because he fucks him up with one freaking Tybo shot to the freaking stomach.
Yeah.
So he gets knocked out. He finds Sarah. They bounce. They go into hiding. They're at a motel. And
yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
It's because Kyle knows what's happening. He's like, dude, Terminator just wiped out our best chance. Like, we will never get as many guns as we just had.
Yes.
He wiped him out. We're going to a hotel. We're ending this one with a fucking bang.
Yep. And after they go into hiding, they talk about the future.
Tell me about my son.
He has your eyes. I'd die for John Connor.
At least now I know what to name him.
And they build bombs, and then they bang. At one point, I think it's right in this area is when she like fixes him. He's cut up, and he starts explaining the future. And there was a lot of wasted time.
Yeah, this is where I really started to get bored. I mentioned to you in the text that I found the movie, by and large, boring.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. And this is one of those scenes why.
Yeah,
because especially if you've seen the movie so many times, this backstory, because even going into the further sequels, this backstory is just irrelevant to you.
Well, exactly, because you know the backstory, you know everything. So like these scenes are like in my head. Looking at it with a critical eye, I'm like, they could have condensed this.
Yeah.
They could have done a lot less of him. Every time he falls asleep, he has flashbacks or flash forwards, however you want to call them, into the future and yada yada.
Before we go too much further, though, past the motel scene, when they have sex, and we have to bring this up, because she says before, like, God, I want a shower. And he's like, I'm going out for supplies. Here's a 38. Because that's going to stop. Yeah. I don't know what.
Exactly.
But here's a 38 to, I guess, give you a false sense of security. And he bounces, comes back with the supplies. They're getting fixed up, yada, yada. Bang one out, right?
Yep.
He's still wearing the pants from the bum. And he came in naked. Get to a clinic, girl. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there's probably some dirty stuff in them drawers.
You need like 6 shots of penicillin.
Yeah.
Because you just had a hobo's dick cheese riding inside of you.
Arnold finds Reese and Linda Hamilton at the motel, and then the chase begins.
Again, though, highlighted by horrible music.
It continues through the big car crash at the end. Their car gets flipped. The big tanker runs Arnold over, which is fantastic.
Yes.
And then he chases Sarah to the factory.
Yep.
Reese blows up the tanker. They think it's over. Reese and Sarah are hugging. And then the metal skeleton,
such a great scene,
climbs out of the wreckage with the fire behind it. Such a good shot. Such a great scene. Good. And then what I noticed in the end, because this whole chase goes into the factory, for 1984, there was only a couple, like literally a couple of bad effects at the end of this movie, in like the chase scene through the factory. Army of Darkness type scenes where you're just like, ugh, that's not a good look.
Right. And what I like about, too, coming into this scene is you start to see Sarah's arc take place a little bit more when she's, like, trying to pull Reese up.
On your feet, soldier! On your feet!
You start to see her kind of becoming that person that he had heard about, Kyle had heard about this entire time, which I thought was it was so subtle.
No,
but it was really nice how they layered that in.
It was very subtle, but the I was going to say overall, if you see the arc of her character from the very beginning of this movie, when she's getting stood up on a date.
Hi, Sarah. Dan Morsky. Something's come up and it looks like I won't be able to make it tonight. Just can't get out of it.
You know, she's getting ready to go out and I'm going to go to a movie by myself, to the end. And to your point, you know, when she's getting him up, and it's such a great arc for a character.
Mm-hmm.
And then it builds everything for future Terminator movies and whatnot, to where she becomes just this complete badass. But just for this movie, the arc is kind of subtle, but it's so good.
So good.
And then, like I said, the chase goes through the factory. These scenes are fucking fantastic. Yep. She crawls through the little machine. He's halved, basically, Arnold's skeleton, and she hits the buzzer button thing to have it come down and press while the hand's through. Such a great way to fucking end this movie.
Yes. Great way for Kyle to die.
Yep.
Too.
Yep.
The way he went out was badass.
Yep.
And yeah, just that whole end scene with the Terminator reaching for her and her hitting the button. From the time they leave the hotel where they're being chased till the end of this movie, it's fire. It's
absolutely
so good.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And I'll be honest, even because I know this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger joint. Yes. And moving forward in the movies that he's done, that he did after this, you have a lot of these campy one-liners and a lot of that stuff. Even the one-liner at the end, where she says,
"You're a terminated fucker."
It's a campy one-liner, but it's delivered so well.
Just gonna say it.
It doesn't make it campy. It makes it really good.
Oh, yeah, you put 99 other actresses or actors, I don't give a shit, in that role.
Yep.
Saying that line.
Yep.
Does not fly. She played that so well.
Yeah. It's that capped off that whole scene and made it awesome. And then it shows her, with the dog from the picture earlier, and she's traveling to Mexico, I guess, and doesn't speak the language. She's now pregnant, and there's your end of the movie. 1984 till now. I loved it when I first saw it, and like you said, I've seen this movie a million times.
Yeah.
And I still love this movie. And even though some of the middle scenes are a little boring, for me, like if I'm watching it for the first time, I don't think it would be boring. But because I've seen this movie 1,000 fucking times, the middle part kind of for me.
Yeah.
But overall, dude, this movie is still so good.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly dated.
Yes.
But that really doesn't factor into it at all. That almost becomes like, you notice big hair with all the ladies. Other than that, though, really, you don't notice anything.
No.
And this is one of those movies for me. Like, I remember seeing this for the first time. I was 12 years old. I was visiting Ohio at my aunt's house late at night, and it was on Cinemax right before the nudie picture started.
Nice.
So I was like, cool, I'll watch this. It's fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal movie I'll never forget. And it absolutely has to stand the test of time. Just for the simple fact that what it spawned.
Yeah.
What came after, not even in its own sequels, just in James Cameron's career, Arnold Schwarzenegger's career, action movies overall, just blew up. And what a science fiction movie could also be. It was phenomenal. No. Phenomenal movie. And like you said, the middle part, if you haven't seen it, you have to see the middle part. It's absolutely necessary.
Yes.
If you've seen it like us a million times, almost fast forward through the middle part, because it's just boring as shit. And it will... Yeah. It'll ding the movie a little bit in your eyes.
It will. And yeah, the movie is dated from the synthesized chase scene music to some of the clothes and hair, like you said. But man, overall, this movie absolutely stands the test of time. And how I determine that is, am I still entertained?
Exactly.
By this movie, and am I still...
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Am I still bought in?
Right.
To what's going on in this movie. So, and I absolutely 100% say this stands the test of time.
Yep, with you.
But with that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. And for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Michael Bolton. And this was Kiss the Reviews in 1984's The Terminator.